Imagine a force so powerful and invisible that it can pull a fully grown man through a hole the size of a quarter in less than a second. This isn't a sci-fi horror movie. It is a daily, terrifying reality known as delta P, or differential pressure. And it is just one of the countless ways you can die doing the most dangerous job on the planet. Welcome back to Extreme Places, where we explore the unforgiving environments that demand the ultimate sacrifice for a massive paycheck. If you want to see more deep dives into the world's most hazardous professions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow Extreme Places. Today, we are looking at a profession that takes place in a pitch-black void, an environment as hostile and alien as deep space, where a single miscalculation doesn't just mean you get fired, it means you get crushed instantly. We are talking about commercial divers and underwater welders. These are the men and women who keep the veins of our modern global infrastructure flowing, repairing oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico, fixing massive concrete dams, and maintaining thousands of miles of underwater pipelines. But the cost of this vital work is staggering, pushing the human body and mind to the absolute breaking point in an environment that actively wants you dead. To truly understand the sheer terror of this job, we have to start with the physics of the deep ocean, specifically a phenomenon called differential pressure, commonly referred to in the industry as delta P. When you have two bodies of water intersecting and one has a lower water level or is completely empty inside like a drained pipe, the water from the higher pressure side will forcefully try to fill that void. If a diver is inspecting a dam or a submerged pipe and swims too close to a seemingly harmless crack, the suction force is not something you can just swim away from. It can generate thousands of pounds of pressure in an instant, pinning the diver against the structure. Once caught in a delta P scenario, rescue is practically impossible. The force is so immense that attempting to pull the diver away using a crane would simply tear their body apart before the suction lets go. They are trapped in the dark, watching their air supply slowly dwindle, fully aware that the ocean has caught them in an unbreakable trap. And this is just the hazard in shallow waters. When you descend hundreds of feet down to service deep-sea oil and gas infrastructure, the ocean itself becomes a crushing weight. At 1,000 feet below the surface, the pressure is roughly 440 pounds per square inch, which is about 30 times the normal atmospheric pressure we experience on land. The environment is pitch black, freezing cold, and profoundly isolated. It is an abyss that feels more like a macabre underworld than a workplace, reminiscent of the grotesque and harsh conditions where only bizarre deep-sea creatures can naturally survive. You are entirely dependent on a surface crew and a thick umbilical cord that supplies your breathing gas, hot water to keep you from freezing to death, and your communications. If that umbilical cord is severed, you have mere minutes of emergency bailout gas to find your way back to safety in absolute darkness, surrounded by massive, jagged metal structures that can snag your heavy gear at any moment. Now combine that incredibly hostile environment with the meticulously precise task of welding metal. Underwater welding is generally split into two categories: wet welding and dry welding. Wet welding is exactly what it sounds like. The diver is directly exposed to the surrounding water, striking an electric arc in the wet environment. You are holding a stick of pure electricity that is generating temperatures upwards of 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit while you are completely submerged in salt water, which is an excellent conductor of electricity. One tiny flaw in your grounding, one damaged piece of rubber insulation on your suit or equipment, and the lethal electrical current will find the fastest path to the ground, which very well could be straight through your heart. Divers have to be meticulously careful, constantly checking their gear and communicating with the surface supervisor to turn the power on and off only when they are perfectly positioned. Then there is dry welding, or hyperbaric welding, which involves sealing a custom-built chamber around the metal structure that needs repairing, pumping all the water out, and welding in a dry, highly pressurized environment. While you don't have the immediate risk of electrocution from the surrounding water, you are now locked inside a tiny, confined metal box hundreds of feet underwater, rapidly filling with explosive gases generated by the welding process. A single spark catching a pocket of hydrogen or oxygen gas can cause a catastrophic explosion inside the habitat, incinerating the divers instantly, with absolutely nowhere to run. The physical toll of performing this kind of precision blue-collar labor while wearing 80 pounds of weighted gear, fighting against strong, unpredictable ocean currents, and dealing with the constant psychological stress of the environment is something very few people can handle. It requires not just technical mastery of heavy construction, but an ironclad mindset that refuses to panic even when everything violently goes wrong. But perhaps the most extreme aspect of this profession is a highly specialized practice known as saturation diving. When offshore operations require divers to work at extreme depths for days or weeks at a time, it is physically impossible to bring them back to the surface after every single shift. The decompression process, allowing the dissolved inert gases in their tissues to safely and slowly exit their bodies without forming lethal bubbles in their bloodstream, would take days for just one single deep dive. So, the commercial diving industry solved this problem by simply keeping the divers permanently pressurized. For up to 28 days straight, a team of saturation divers lives inside a hyperbaric chamber located on the deck of a massive support ship. This chamber is essentially a sealed, reinforced metal tube, roughly the size of a small camper van, where the internal pressure is artificially kept at the exact same pressure as the depth they will be working at on the ocean floor, which could be 600 feet or more. They live, sleep, eat, and use the bathroom in this tiny, claustrophobic space, completely isolated from the outside world. The air they breathe is a carefully calculated mixture of helium and oxygen, because breathing regular compressed air at those depths would cause acute oxygen toxicity and nitrogen narcosis, effectively turning them instantly, lethally drunk before killing them. The helium mixture severely alters their voices, making these tough, rugged construction workers sound exactly like high-pitched cartoon characters, which is funny for about 5 minutes until you realize they have to communicate incredibly complex, life-or-death instructions sounding exactly like that. Their food, clean clothes, and medical supplies are passed through a small pressurized airlock, and they are monitored by supervisor cameras 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is a bizarre existence that strips away all human privacy and basic comfort. You are trapped in a high-pressure tin can with 3 or 4 other grown men breathing a gas mixture that conducts heat away from your body so quickly that you always feel a chilling, uncomfortable dampness, all while knowing that if the primary seal on that chamber fails, explosive decompression would aggressively boil the blood in your veins and kill you in a fraction of a second. The daily commute for a saturation diver is just as nerve-wracking as their incredibly bizarre living conditions. When it is time for their shift, they crawl directly from their living chamber into a diving bell, which is a smaller, heavily reinforced, pressurized sphere that is then detached and lowered by a heavy crane over the side of the ship, descending hundreds of feet down into the freezing, pitch-black abyss. The bell acts as their underwater base of operations and their only safe haven. One diver always stays inside the bell to carefully monitor the life support panels and manually handle the long, heavy umbilical cords, while the other divers lock out, swimming out into the dark, crushing water to perform the grueling, heavy physical labor. They are essentially industrial athletes, manhandling heavy metal pipes, operating massive hydraulic tools, and performing intricate, high-quality welds while constantly fighting against the relentless, exhausting push and pull of the ocean currents. They technically work in pairs or teams, but out there in the absolute dark, it is an incredibly solitary, psychologically taxing experience. All you hear is the heavy, mechanical rasp of your own breathing and the distorted, squeaky voice of the dive supervisor on the surface barking orders through your comms. The work is physically exhausting, draining every ounce of energy from your muscles in a matter of hours. The hot water continuously pumped through their specialized suits from the surface is the only thing keeping them from dying of rapid hypothermia in a matter of minutes. But if that surface water heater malfunctions, and pumps water that is too hot, it can literally boil them alive inside their suits, causing severe, life-threatening burns. It is a constant, incredibly delicate balancing act of complex life support systems, all completely controlled by people sitting on a ship hundreds of feet above them, bobbing unpredictably in the harsh waves of the open ocean. After a brutal, exhausting shift of up to 8 hours in the freezing water, they crawl back into the bell, wait to be winched back up to the violently moving ship, and reconnect to the main living chamber, only to do it all over again, the exact same way, the next day. This relentless, punishing cycle continues for weeks on end, demanding a level of sheer physical stamina and mental endurance that is almost incomprehensible to those of us working safely on solid ground. Even if a commercial diver miraculously manages to completely avoid acute, catastrophic accidents like delta P suction, instant electrocution, underwater explosions, or catastrophic equipment failures, the job still demands a heavily insidious, guaranteed toll on the human body over time. The constant, repetitive cycle of pressurization and decompression, no matter how carefully managed by advanced dive tables and highly trained computers, inevitably causes microscopic bubbles of inert gas to form in the bloodstream and human tissues. Over a demanding career spanning several years or decades, these microbubbles accumulate and cause severe microscopic damage to the tiny blood vessels that supply oxygen and nutrients to the bones. This gradually leads to a terrifying, highly prevalent occupational disease known as dysbaric osteonecrosis, which is essentially the slow rotting and death of living bone tissue, most commonly affecting the major joints in the shoulders and hips. The crucial cartilage breaks down, the bones become fragile and brittle, and they literally start to collapse inward upon themselves, causing agonizing chronic pain that eventually requires multiple total joint replacement surgeries. It is incredibly common to see retired commercial divers in their 40s and 50s walking with a severe, permanent limp or completely unable to raise their arms above their heads. Furthermore, the constant daily exposure to the incredibly harsh, highly pressurized, and intensely noisy underwater industrial environment takes a massive, irreversible toll on their hearing, heavily leading to profound chronic tinnitus and severe early-onset deafness. There are also emerging medical studies strongly suggesting long-term neurological impacts from continuously breathing exotic, heavy gas mixtures under extreme pressure for prolonged periods, documenting symptoms that include progressive memory loss, general cognitive decline, and severe mood disorders. You are essentially trading your physical health and your overall longevity for a massive paycheck. The human body is simply not evolutionarily designed to exist under these extreme atmospheric conditions, and the ocean is a relentless, undefeated adversary that slowly grinds down even the toughest, most resilient individuals. It is a slow, silent, invisible deterioration that doesn't make the evening news headlines like a catastrophic rig explosion or a violently severed umbilical cord. But it is the grim, unavoidable reality waiting for almost everyone who makes a long-term career out of commercial deep-sea diving. So, with all of these horrifying, well-documented risks, the constant daily threat of instant violent death, and the absolutely guaranteed long-term physical destruction of their bodies, why on earth does anyone willingly choose to become an underwater welder or a deep-sea saturation diver? The answer, as it always is with many of the world's most incredibly dangerous blue-collar jobs, ultimately comes down to the money and the unique, heavily skewed dynamics of extreme wealth within the massive offshore energy sector. These divers are the heavily relied upon, indispensable grunts of a multi-trillion-dollar global industry. When an enormous offshore oil rig is forced to completely shut down its operations for urgent underwater repairs, the massive, highly profitable energy corporations actively lose millions of dollars every single day that it remains offline. Therefore, they are more than willing to pay absolutely astronomical sums of cash to the specific men who possess the skills and the sheer bravery to dive down into the crushing darkness and fix the problem as quickly as physically possible. A highly skilled saturation diver can easily make well over $1,000 a single day, with their total financial compensation for just one single month-long job frequently reaching upwards of $40,000 to $50,000. For many ambitious young men, especially those who strongly prefer hands-on, physically demanding blue-collar labor to sitting rigidly in a sterile corporate office, the incredibly intoxicating lure of making a massive six-figure salary in just a few short months of work out of the entire year is practically impossible to resist. It rapidly allows them to buy large homes entirely outright, afford incredibly expensive luxury vehicles, and reliably provide a level of permanent financial security for their families that would normally take decades of slow saving to achieve in standard land-based construction jobs. The intense life of a commercial diver and underwater welder is fundamentally one of stark, unbelievable contrasts. It is an extreme existence entirely defined by the cutting-edge, highly complex technology required just to keep them breathing, and the primitive, unapologetic, raw power of the ocean that constantly threatens to crush them without a second thought. It is a vital job that absolutely requires unparalleled human bravery, immense physical strength, and a deep psychological resilience that most of us living comfortably on land can barely even begin to fathom. They work daily in a pitch-black, freezing, incredibly alien environment, constantly dancing recklessly on the razor's edge of catastrophic disaster, all to silently maintain the massive hidden scaffolding of our modern civilization. The next time you effortlessly turn on your home heater, comfortably fill up your car with gas at the station, or casually drive over a massive concrete bridge, take a brief moment to deeply think about the men in the dark, highly pressurized depths who voluntarily put their lives on the line to make it all structurally possible. They are operating daily in one of the most hostile, unforgiving workplaces in the known universe, actively facing nightmarish dangers like delta P suction, instant electrocution, and slow, agonizing physical degradation, fully knowing that one tiny, insignificant mistake can violently crush them instantly. Thank you for joining us on this deep, eye-opening dive into the genuinely harrowing world of underwater welding and extreme saturation diving. If you found this detailed exploration of extreme hazard pay and deep-sea survival fascinating, please make sure to follow Extreme Places and subscribe to the channel right now for more incredible, shocking stories about the most dangerous, unforgiving, and extreme jobs on the entire planet. Let us know down in the comments below if you honestly think the massive financial paycheck is truly worth the terrifying physical risks, and tell us exactly what extreme job we should investigate and cover next. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we will see you again on the edge of the extreme.